Hello. Welcome again. This is Farm with Fred, the agronomist, the farmer. I've always told you this has been a song. It has been something that I usually tell each and every day on my Facebook page. For those who are not following me on Facebook page at Farm with Fred, or at my Twitter handle at Farm with Fred, or Fred Monene _ on my Instagram at farm.withfred, and on my TikTok at Farm with Fred. All these social medias have been sharing about one thing, and that is skills and techniques, investment in anything that you're doing in agriculture. Because when you want to get into agriculture, especially like in this one, you can see this is a greenhouse farming. And setting up a greenhouse is not cheap, especially the metallic one that are in is not that cheap. Then before even you think of setting up, make sure you get the skills, make sure you get the knowledge, make sure you know what to do at what time. Today I'm in a farm, have visited a farmer who has a problem, and as you can see, there is a big problem. We cannot even walk here easily. We cannot walk easily because there is a big problem. The tomatoes is the best variety, but there is poor tomato management. Now I'm here just to guide you and show you the way, so that you'll not find yourself in such a scenario or in such a situation. Let's keep learning together, and I'll keep educating you and giving you the necessary skills. So in such a situation, the first priority is just managing the crop, even without controlling pests and diseases, because with this bushy like thing, you cannot be able to control the pests and diseases, because these were, like, for example, if powdery mildew or downy mildew or blight attacks these tomatoes at this stage, you cannot salvage anything. If Tut Absoluta comes here, you know Tut Absoluta is a real devil when it comes to tomato farming. You cannot salvage anything. So you need first to handle the crop, so that now you can go to the next step. I'll bring very exciting episode on how to manage everything. But for today, I just want to show you few things, and I share with you few mistakes that were done here, so that you can avoid them when you're into farming. One, choose the best greenhouse variety, as this farmer did. Chose the best greenhouse variety. Then do the soil analysis to avoid the diseases and the pests from the soil. The farmer did that. Get the best fertilizer and the manure. The farmer did that. But now the mistakes came in when during crop handling and everything. The crop is already 2 weeks old. You can see it's flowering. You can see it's flowering. The flowers are beautiful. We even have some fruit here with us. See, we have fruit. Now, what is needed is just managing, so that we can have as many flowers as possible. And the more the flowers, the more the fruit, and the good, the money. I told you, farming is a game of numbers. If you're able to maintain the numbers, you just get everything else right. When it comes to tying the tomatoes, or when it comes to tying the tomatoes, avoid tying the stems of the tomatoes. Avoid this, because you are hindering the stem of the tomato. So I usually encourage farmers, you can use a running wire, just like the drip line at the bottom here, where you are going to tie the tomatoes. But if you don't have the wire, just use a stick like this one. Put it firmly on the ground. Then with a string, because this is now what we call twining the tomatoes. Tie at the stem of the peg. Tie that way. Then come and tie your tomato. And just have a close look. Have a close look how I'm tying the the stem of the tomato. You move into one direction, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Move into that direction, that way. Under the node of every leaf, but if they are very close, don't you can jump one. You see, you move that way. You move that way. This how tying is supposed to be done. That way. Then tie at the top. Make sure you tie it well. This is the first step. And for your information, tying is not supposed to be done at this age, because like I told you, I'm here just to train and rectify this mistake. Tying is supposed to be done the very first time, or the very first day the plant start maturing and growing big, because one, this plant is already 2 months old, and it is past that. But because missing the way just doesn't mean that you are completely lost. When you discover yourself, you just take the right direction, regardless of the distance you had covered, and go towards the right direction and end up where you heading to. So after tying, because I told you these are fruit, make sure you cut all the stems that are coming out, because one, we want the greenhouse tomatoes grows it grows as one stem variety. You don't need to keep many stems like open field. And because you see we've already missed some flowers here on the lower part, I encourage, if your first flower is at this section or at this stage, you just remove the lower leaves. This is just the managerial skills to salvage this crop and to make sure we get good returns in the future, because it has to stay here for more than 6 months, and now we have to take care of it and make sure we have the best fruit as possible. So you remove the lower leaves. This allows maximum use of nutrient from the soil, because these leaves are the lower part here. They are just using the nutrient and they are not helping the plant, because these ones now next to the fruit are the ones that are supposed to help or to take care of the fruit here. So remove unnecessary leaves. Maybe some that are diseased, you can also remove them. Some that have pests, you can also remove them. Also, there are some others that are growing at the tips of the fruits. You just cut them and remove them that way. Those are now the skills that are supposed to be learned or are supposed to be known. And of the process, make sure that your tomatoes are weed free. They are weed free because that's what brings the diseases, that's what brings the pest, and we want to avoid that as much as possible. So we go to the next stem. Make sure you don't tie on the stem. You came to the stem, you tie the string at the stem that way. You tie, I usually like tying clockwise. You tie the tomato clockwise and I heavily leave. You tie them. You tie them, you see? You tie them slow by slowly. Don't force it, because you may end up breaking it. So you tie it that way. Then at the top here, When it comes to crop support or where to tie the tomatoes, but this is something that cannot be rectified at this point. Make sure your crop support is higher at a higher point that you can be able to reach as high as possible, because you can also even use a radar or a straw, because at this point you see the tomatoes will grow to this part here. Then we are going to drop this young crop very early, but if it had grown a few meters more than what we are expecting it to grow at the moment, we could have done a good job, more better than this one. So again, because it has overgrown suckers, even some with flowers, don't mind that. Just remove the suckers, remove all the suckers, remove the lower leaves, remove the lower leaves, remove the lower leaves, and you are good to go. So it's as simple as that. Don't forget, the reason why we are using the pegs is in order to avoid tying the tomato or the main crop at the bottom. You repeat, that way. Let me remove the former rope that untied. You tie that way. If this was done from the word go, it could be very easier, and even the tomatoes could be having more production of fruit as we speak. But the good thing with the greenhouse varieties are continuous. We call it it grows continuously, so there is no big challenge. At least we'll salvage it and get good fruit as times goes on, as many as possible. So 2 months is not that bad. 2 months is quite good. So that's how it's supposed to be done. You cut all the leaves, you remove the suckers, regardless of how big or whether it has given fruit or not. You remove the suckers, you remove everything, and you can see now from here, the line looks very beautiful. The line looks very beautiful, well laid, as compared to this section here, which it has not been done. There is nothing that has been done. Look how bushy it is. Look how spacious it is where they have been tied. So this is the practice that you're supposed to learn and practice in order to solve everything, because at the moment we've wasted a lot of nutrients, we've wasted everything, but it's a good time and learning moment, and these are some of the things now I encourage you to invest in and to learn before you start any kind of farming. Until next time, make sure you're tuned, you are subscribed to this channel, so that you can continue getting the updates and continue learning. Bye.